Hey guys, welcome to the Macro Trader Update, and today is Tuesday, March 26th. What we'll cover today is we'll talk a little bit about the Reddit IPO. Take a look at the Bitcoin ETF flows, take a look at how Bitcoin's doing from the technical perspective, and then we'll dive into added some more positions to the Robinhood account. So just looking into the new positions and my thought process around those. So let's dive in. So I don't know if you guys know, but Reddit's stock IPO'd a couple of days ago, and it's currently, as this headline said, it's up 30% since the start of the week. And actually, I'm looking at the price right now. It's trading at around $67, and it's up another 13% today. So, the article goes into the Reddit IPO raised another, $750 million for Reddit, which I think is great. I've been a long-term Reddit user for a while now, and a lot of the research when it comes to things they need to do, baby stuff, like I do get a lot of my research. I started, down my personal finance journey through Reddit, and I think Reddit is just a really good treasure trove for just really good research and really good information. I love the different types of opinions, and I think just everybody out there in that community is just really wants to help people, and I think that's probably the biggest thing, and what I love most about Reddit is just how great that community is. So the shares first, debuted at like $34, and if some of you guys could have gotten an IPO and early access at $30 using Robinhood and other vendors as well too to get early IPO access. I think that, Reddit has a lot of good things going on for it. I think the community is really great. I don't know if you guys have known, but during their IPO, we mentioned that they're actually going to be playing around with cryptocurrencies, so ETH, Bitcoin into their treasury. So I think, they're really progressive. They're working and they're playing around with a couple of things. They were actually one of the first companies to look into NFTs, and they were actually using Polygon for their avatar alien collection. So really progressive. I really enjoy what they're doing, and they're really kind of thinking outside the box and at least looking for the future and into their future and some of the technologies that they're working with. I think the big hype right now with Reddit right now is everybody thinks it's an AI company, and I think there's some truth to that. I think there's a lot of data that Reddit has and a lot of information. And again, I get a lot of my research there. We just looked at, refrigerators and what's the best brand of refrigerators and what's the best brand of dishwashers and washer dryers even, so a lot of my research for life and everything else, travel as well too. I did a trip to Costa Rica and researched it on Reddit, and it gave me a lot of good ideas. So I can see where the AI narrative's coming, and they do have a lot of really good data. I think the data is a little bit more, I've been on, I'm getting involved more on Twitter, and I think just the data and the things that are on Reddit are just a little bit more wholesome and a little bit more friendly and helpful versus, staying on a soapbox. That's what I see on Twitter anyways. And I think what they did really well too, reading into the article, is, they offered some of their moderators and some of the people and the friends and family of the moderators early access to IPO at better pricing. So things like that, gestures of goodwill, I always think is really good for a company nowadays. I feel like everybody's just trying to make a buck, and I'm glad that people like the moderators, at least on Reddit, made some money and at least got some early access to that. I think that's another thankless job that Reddit monitors have to do, and I'm glad they're kind of paying it forward to their community, and I think that Reddit's just going to be kind of successful overall. I did, put on some long-term dated options about like 2 years out for Reddit. I'm not sure, it could be a hype as well too, so I'm going to keep monitoring the position, but I really do have a lot of hope in Reddit, and I think very similar to Tesla, I think, you're not really buying these specific companies for like what they're going to be doing, how much they're going to be making. I really do think like companies like Tesla, and I've been trading a lot about, with meme coins and also NFTs. You're really buying into the community, what they stand for and what they're doing. And my kind of main thesis around here is that it's a millennial stock. It's a millennial company. I think millennials right now are getting to the age, I'm in that age bracket where they're getting into, ways, and they're making more income. And I think that they're going to be putting their money and putting some of their investments in, ESG. And I think that Reddit definitely hits that governance part where I feel like everybody has a voice on Reddit. So again, we'll kind of see and monitor where this goes. My main thesis is that millennials are going to keep throwing money at this stock and are going to be holding it long term just because they get so much value out of Reddit and everything that it's done kind of for me. Hopefully everybody kind of sees that, and it's kind of, when you're trading, again, it's kind of like playing 3D, 4D chess, and you got to be ahead of the crowd here. And again, I'll keep monitoring this position and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it does well for us, and I hope the best for Reddit anyways with their IPO and what they do in the future. Okay, so diving over to the Bitcoin ETFs, yesterday, March 26th, well, actually the 25th, we had 15 million in inflows. Again, the biggest outflow has been GBTC. I think they're about, halfway through their fund right now. So not much else going on. I think a lot of it has been liquidations of some of the collapses over the last couple of years. And I think that's been the main narrative. We saw, the outflow started back here, and I think it's been ticking up. So, and we've seen the price appreciation of Bitcoin. So hopefully this kind of continues the trend, and I'll keep monitoring this, and we'll kind of keep seeing this. Hopefully the ETF flows continue. Again, this is only the US Bitcoin ETFs. A lot of the other folks and a lot of outside the US are getting involved. China, and then some of the other, Hong Kong is also starting to spin up ETFs as well too. Right now, a lot of folks in the US don't really have a need for crypto, and a lot of the other countries, particularly in China, where they're having less faith in the government, now it kind of opens up the door now to other folks and other wealth funds and other sovereignties that they basically want to buy Bitcoin and have really easy access to it. I personally just think we've just started kind of the flows, and we'll probably see more of these flows as all these other countries and all these other markets kind of open up and start including ETFs as a vehicle to get into Bitcoin. So I think this is going to kind of continue, but we'll keep monitoring this anyways. So Bitcoin technically right now is trading at $70,000. It's had a good week. It's up around 4% for the week. We have a TUE sell setup, just indicating the general direction is going to be up. RSI right now is just creeping out of the oversold territory. So I think the price appreciation is going to kind of continue. We have some upper targets here for $78 and some upper resistance here of the $72,000. So I think that's probably going to be, once we overcome the 72,000, I think we'll kind of keep marching up to the 78,000. Some lower targets you guys should be looking for is 68,000 if you guys can be trading the short term, and then another downside target of around 64,000. Moving over to the hourly chart, we did have these nines that hit, so it's selling off. We have a one sell setup, just indicating the general direction is going to be up. We do have this major resistance here at 72,000, very similar to the daily chart. So I think we're going to probably be hovering, bumping into the $72,000 range for a little bit. But once we break out, we do have some more resistance above at 73. And then 75,000 as well too. And I think the RSI is still in the oversold territory, so I think we're gonna heading back up to the 72,000 and then trying to break that level right now. Looking at the weekly, we have some upper targets of 75,000, and that's kind of our big target right now. No other major DeMark indicators. I did notice this right here for a D-wave projection, looking at 101,000. I think we're going to break that probably by June time and after this happening as well too. RSI right now is just right in the overbought territory. So still really good and really constructive charts for Bitcoin right now on all three time frames. One thing that was really interesting, and a lot of folks are talking about the double top here. One of my friends did message me, and he's really not that into crypto, but he was into some of the meme coins last cycle, and he's been only in one cycle deep, and he asked me, how do I sell my Bitcoin? So he told me that it was way too volatile for him and he's getting out. So I think that's probably the current market sentiment right now. A lot of the folks who got in really late in the cycle back here in November 2021 or even April 2021 are really kind of nervous, and so they don't know where it's going to go. I told them we're probably about halfway through the cycle, and I'm looking for 100K plus on Bitcoin, but I think that's kind of probably the market sentiment and market narrative right now, is a lot of folks just trying to exit right now while they can, since they're afraid of this double top. But I really do think we're going to break above this and really see a lot of price appreciation, and we're maybe about halfway there for where we're going to end up with Bitcoin. So just a little bit of a funny thing to mention for you guys, just so you guys get some perspective of kind of the sentiment around Bitcoin right now. So looking at our Robinhood account, we're at 4,700 bucks right now. It's kind of had an up day. We peaked up here today at around 5,000 bucks, and been kind of trading sideways for a little bit. So not sure what's kind of going on right now. I did want to kind of share with you guys some new positions we put on. Did put on this Nike $100 calls on April 26th, and I bought 3 contracts of those. Let's see how much we are down by. And we're down about 24 bucks, or 19% of that right now. Nike did sell off right now, and so looking for a bounce back in the short term. Next position we put on, a new position, was TQQQ. That's just a triple leveraged ETF on the Qs right now. We bought 1 contract in June 21st, and we're down about 7% right now. My thought process around this is that right now we're reaching end of the month and end of the monthly or quarterly OPEX, and the market's held up pretty well. I keep mentioning that Jem Carson mentioned we're either going to be trading sideways, or he was looking for like a 2 to 10% down, and the market's actually held up pretty well over the last couple of weeks. So I figured that's a really good time to add some risk, even though the market with them taking away the punch bowl for at least the flows for options, that the market's held up pretty well and somebody's buying it. So again, just wanted to add this on here as well. We wanted to kind of go longer dated, since I don't know if the move's gonna be next week or the week after that. So just wanted to buy some calls, and then TQQQ just gives me leverage on top of the leverage as well too with options. So just a new position we have on. We'll keep monitoring this. And then the last one I added was SILJ, $14 calls expiring in August. We're down about $80 or 40% of those options. I actually watched a daily briefing, and I'll give you guys a link down below as well too. Dale Pinkard was on the daily briefing as well too, and he mentioned that silver was just a really good trade. SL is just the silver's miners, just the junior ones. And so I looked at the price chart for that one, and it looked pretty constructive. So the great thing about options is, you don't have to put too much right now into it. We have, let's see what our equity is. We put 100 and about like $200 into this. And if we do a rally with silver miners into the year, we can kind of collect some of that. Again, the great thing with options is that you can have a couple different plays, and then that's why I'm scaling out of really the clean spark position of the commons that we have, and want to kind of play around with options a little bit more, since it'll kind of give us a couple of shots at different things and different ideas that come up, whether it's mine or something we've heard elsewhere through our research or through other folks that I read and follow as well too. Those are kind of the updated positions for the portfolio. I hope you guys enjoyed the update for today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.